Hi, my name's Emily and I'm freezing my eggs in December. I decided to make this video because it just seems like a taboo subject. And then I told myself if I'm okay with me freezing my eggs and I'm okay with other people knowing about it, then I need to just be open with it. So, in terms of freezing my eggs, my first priority was sweatpants, stretchy stuff. Doctors told me that I probably need to eat more, so I went to buy new clothes. So a lot of stretchy pants. Second order, these are stretchy. Second order, push present. I know I'm not actually having a baby, but any reason to buy myself something is good. I actually wanted to get jewelry, but then I realized jewelry is expensive. Freezing your eggs is expensive, and I always wanted to do a trip, and that trip is expensive. So I think I might just have to stick with the trip because that's something I wanted to do in my entire life, and I might have a chance to do it. Okay. Third thing you'll probably need to buy are vitamins. So I don't want to go into too much detail because I think with every doctor they want you to do different things, but pretty much all of them are probably going to want you to do this. So the number one thing is prenatals. You don't have to get prescription prenatals. The reason I decided to just go ahead and spend the extra money on these is because I don't use pharmaceutical drugs recreationally, so why cheat myself out of this life experience? That was a joke. If you didn't get it, you should probably just stop the video. At first, I was pretty scared and lonely to go about this process by myself. But in life, you just keep on going. And then as you meet the doctors, you start realizing, okay, this is just very matter of the fact. Yeah, to me, this is oh, this is the first time I've ever done it. This is so scary. But then when you go see the doctors, they do this every single day, multiple times a day. And you just pick up their attitude that this is just something. I went to go see a gynecologist about something and she was like, oh, you need to freeze your eggs. And I was like, oh. I first went to a doctor that she recommended and I was pretty much going to go with her. She seemed cool, she seemed capable, she's very straightforward. But what stopped me was because I was like, wait, when I went to buy my car, I probably checked out 15 different dealerships before I actually decided on a model. So it made me realize for something like my body, I should probably check out at least one more doctor. The most important part in this process is which doctor you're going to go with. So you need to find a doctor that's going to match your personality. Now, I live in the Los Angeles area, so it might be different depending on your location. All of them do require some sort of payment for the initial consult. I say go ahead and pay for that consult because you will eventually need to do it. So you might as well just pay for the ultrasound because that's something that you're going to have to do with every doctor. And also it gives you an opportunity to see if you like how the doctor works. And also I think it's good to get a second opinion. So I had my ultrasound done by 2 doctors and for the most part they're kind of the same, but there's minor differences between each one. Okay. In addition to doing an ultrasound, you also have to do blood tests. And based on those blood tests, you might need to go see a specialist. So I did have to go to a specialist, and then I did another blood test, and then it was fine. So that's something that I wouldn't freak out over. You just have to do a lot of blood tests. What else? Before you actually freeze them, they make you sign a contract. And in that contract, it goes over things like, what if you die? What should happen with your eggs? Or if you reach a certain age, what should you do with your eggs? It's really funny because I think it's at 55, you're supposedly too old to have them put in you. And then I know that is the logical response. But in my head, I was like, well, what if I want to be that crazy 55-year-old? Shouldn't I have that choice? But I think they told me like legally you cannot have them put inside you. So that sort of took off that option. And even when you go to the doctors, they say these eggs that you freeze are really still meant to be a backup. Hopefully, you still have a baby naturally. My period's supposed to start in a couple of days. So I've actually been feeling a little anxious. I don't know if it's because of PMS or the idea that this process is going to start soon. So once your period starts, you're supposed to go in the next day to your doctors where they start injections of hormones to make your body produce more eggs. And that goes on for 2 weeks. And just seeing the women inject themselves and some of them talking about how lonely the process is, I think it made me think, no, there's no way I'm doing that. Like, I haven't gone through the process quite yet, so I guess we'll see for sure or confirm that. But like, no, I plan on not doing those injections by myself. I plan on paying someone else to do that for me. I'm already like going through this process as a single woman, so anything to make it easier for me emotionally, I'm gonna pay for. The biggest thing that's sort of being uncomfortable is the weight gain. Yesterday I was wearing my yoga pants, and even my yoga pants were a little too tight, and you know that's a bad thing. When your yoga pants get too tight, it's a bad sign. So I've actually like been avoiding my agents. So if you're my agent and you're wondering why I haven't been like in touch or like around the agency, it's because I'm freezing my eggs and I don't want you to have the visual of me being like, which has been fun getting to. I'm slightly worried about the weight loss process. So I haven't been drinking. So that was a personal choice for me just not to be drinking, and you're supposed to be doing some like leisurely exercise, and I'm all about leisure. So sometimes I'll be like, okay, let me walk around the mall a little bit longer. Yeah, you're not supposed to actually do anything too strenuous. So I'm just following orders, medical orders. And then these are just going to be my eggs. They're not even fertilized. But just the idea that something, a part of me is going to be out in the world and hopefully frozen, it kind of makes me feel like, oh, I'm not alone in this world anymore. And that's kind of scary to think about. I admire my friends who are already mothers and anyone who is a mother and even my own mother for going through this process. Yeah, I think the whole process just makes me think about like what type of mom I'm going to be. Especially like this period that like I'm preparing to get injections. I've been sort of nesting, trying to keep chill. And it also made me reflect on a lot of the relationships I've had in my life and like stress factors. So yeah, I think sometimes I get insecure that I'm not motherly enough. And obviously because I'm not a mother. But I started realizing like I I do take care of my friends pretty well. And I think I do stand up for things that like in that greater scheme of like moral right and wrong and what's right and what's wrong. So I think in that aspect it makes me think, yeah, it gives me the confidence that like, yeah, I can be a good mom one day. And it also makes me think about like what type of person I want to be with. Like, can we raise a family together? And it's kind of like a business in a way. So yeah, that's the stuff I'm thinking about. A friend just texted me. Let me see. Fertility does bring up different emotions in different people because you don't know what everyone else is going through. And sometimes like people like are going through it, but they don't want to tell you the details. And then some people are very open with their details, and you just sort of have to be accepting of that. Some people might even get offended that you ask, but like I wasn't. You just have to know your intentions, know yourself, and also be understanding of other people and what they're going through. Recommend doing it, egg freezing, because I do feel a sense of empowerment. It doesn't feel like that at first. It feels kind of scary and maybe even like, God, where am I in my life? But like, you can't. I can't do anything about that. What I can do is like freeze my eggs, and that's something I can do because I don't have anyone in my life that I feel like, oh yeah, we can definitely build a family, and I don't know when that's going to happen. Like I can't control that. God help me. But like, it does make me feel like, oh, like when are you ever going to have this much control over like your egg results, right? Because even if you have someone you're going to make a baby with, like it involves someone else. So at least with these egg freezing ness, besides the advice of your doctors and your nurses, like you get to determine how you're going to freeze these eggs. So that's kind of nice. Okay, well, I said the most important part is like the doctor and like all the good stuff, but it's also about like your mental health. So do what's going to make you feel better about yourself. Buying sweatpants is going to make me feel better about myself. Of course, I may be justifying this a little bit too much. And like when I eat nicer foods, I'm like, oh, it's not just for me, it's for my future babies. Jewelry would make me feel better about myself, but also having money so I can spend it elsewhere would also be better. So those are the sacrifices you have to make. Someone told me that you can actually get like interest-free loans for freezing your eggs too. So that's something to look towards, and also work. Check if your workplace will pay for your egg freezing. My friend checked with her work, and they're just like, one thing I do regret is holding off the egg freezing process. Not on purpose, actually. It wasn't even in my like list of things to do. It just happened to pop up. But had I done it in the summer, I would have just like not worried about it. But I also would have gone with a different doctor because I hadn't done my enough research. But now that I'm doing it in December, I had to push off vacation plans, and I know that's like a small thing to think about in the grand scheme of your like future family, potential future family. But yeah, that was like a slightly annoying. Something that did work out by doing it in December is because I've been told I probably need to eat more for these eggs. It works perfectly with holiday weight. So I wasn't eating out of self gratification. I was eating for my future babies. So I didn't realize how soon it is before I'm actually starting the whole fertilization process. This has been like my go-to sweatsuit, yoga pants, stretchy. I don't want to know how much weight I've gained. I don't know. I guess I just feel uncomfortable in this new body. And like I have like confidence in it because I feel like I'm not just gaining weight, I'm gaining weight for a bigger purpose. And I guess like sometimes it makes me think about like, oh my gosh, like what is it going to be like when I'm actually pregnant? And I have like friends that have kids, so I start like recognizing it is a lot of sacrifice. I admire all the mothers out there who've gone through the process because like even just for like it hasn't even been a month, but like I like went to a couple premieres where they have like popcorn, and the best part is they have self-serve butter, and I'll just drizzle all this butter on it. And I remember just during the film like eating it and being like, oh shit, is this good for my like future babies? I still ate it. I'll try to like balance it. Sorry, future babies. But I also feel like it's a bit of a balance. So I also want to spread like positive energy to them. So I think butter popcorn's part of that positive energy. In some ways, it sort of makes me think about the future, which I think is like a good thing. because obviously I haven't been thinking about the future, or else I wouldn't be in this position where I'm like freezing my eggs. I hope I'm in a place where I can be like secure in my career and everything, where I can take that time away. But those are things that like women have to think about. It's like so hard being a woman, and it's hard doing it alone. I think before I had started the process, it was a little bit of anxiety, like, and fear, this idea that like I have to go through this like egg freezing process alone. But it's actually not that bad, and it's not that lonely. You have your doctors and nurses that are going to guide you through it. And I don't use them as an emotional crutch, so I'm not saying that you will be able to. But once you get through the initial stages, you start realizing, oh, this is just very matter of the fact. You're just kind of like going on your normal life. And I haven't gone through the actual process, but so far it's just like, yeah, I just got to eat more. And I've been very paranoid about smoke. So the whole reason I had left Beverly Hills, if you follow my social media, I mentioned the smoke, but it was because I was freezing my eggs and I was afraid of how it would affect my future babies. And something that's like been more emotional for me has been this idea like I don't even smoke. I don't even put my own body through that. And to have someone else smoke affect me, like it just got me super fucking annoyed. Like I think I'm naturally a pretty like easygoing, ambivalent person in terms of like other people and their choices. Like you live your life, but when your choices affect me in a way that would like negatively hurt me, it's like I'm so mad about it. Like I can't speak. I had gone out with some friends. We went to a club. Some people invited us to like an after party at a house in the hills. And as soon as we like get to the rooftop overlooking like the city, and there's like this cool modern like fireplace, everyone around the fireplace was fucking smoking. And like as soon as I was there, I was like, okay, I have to leave. It wasn't like I was that like entertained by the whole thing anyways. It's not like I haven't gone to these parties before. But it was one of those things where I was like, I have to bolt, and I just left. And they're trying to be like, oh, you can chill at this balcony. It's away from the smoke, or this or that. And then in my head, it was the thing that I had to like stand up for myself, be like, no, that's not fucking good enough. There's smoke around. I need to fucking leave, or else my future babies might be impacted. So yeah, I guess that like mama lion has like been brought out more. And I used to think like I lack that maternal instinct. I'm not that caring about people, but I started realizing like I actually do have that motherly component. I'm pretty motherly with my friends, and even if I'm not in a relationship right now, I do have that about me in my, I don't know. I think I've been told I'm not very affectionate. Sometimes I'm very insecure about that. But like I started realizing like I do take care of my friends pretty well, maybe too well sometimes, to the point it overwhelms me. And like when I'm in a relationship with someone I love, like I am like a good partner. So yeah, I think I will be a good mom. I just finished Thanksgiving. I had all these leftovers, but guess what? I'm actually supposed to be eating more, so it's like great. I'm not like gaining a holiday weight. I'm just doing my job. Other than that, I'm gonna start keeping chill. It's the beginning of December, and I'm supposed to get my period this week and then start the whole shop process. Now I know like I'm not actually pregnant, so there's no reason for me to like keep like calm. But hey, I'm going to give myself the full experience. Don't try to take this away from me. I finally got my period.
So I went to the doctor's office today. It's a Sunday, so they're having me come tomorrow morning to get checked up and then hopefully start injections. Right now, I'm kind of excited, but yesterday when I first got my period, I was like relieved. So yeah, I'm gonna eat my takeout food since all I did yesterday was throw up and sleep, which makes me wonder what sort of pregnancy I would have, or what how these hormones are going to affect me. So I guess we'll see. Bye.
I started my period on Saturday. I went to the office Sunday and made an appointment for Monday. So this morning I went to go see my doctor, and yeah, everything looks great, and I'm going to be starting my injections. So I felt a lot of relief with that. I went to the pharmacy to pick up my drugs, and I'm probably going to go back into the office to have a nurse inject me. So I've been bamboozled. I thought this entire time my plan was to like pay the additional fee to have a nurse do the injections for me. But I think during the weekends, the office isn't open during that time. So at some point, I'm going to have to do these injections on my own. So maybe I'll make a video of it because I know you're dying to see me inject myself. So yeah, we'll see. I think the whole process has been pretty humbling because as a single person, I feel like I can handle a lot of things on my own. But this whole like egg freezing process and the idea of like having to start a family or have kids, it's made me realize like, oh, there are certain things I can't do by myself. And yes, like there are options, and that would require a different level of independence for me. I guess I get to see other people's lives and they have lives that I want to aspire to. The thing I'm most dreading is the fact that I've been using an excuse that I'm nesting to not go out. And once this whole thing's done, I'm just going to have to tell people I don't want to go out. We'll end there. It's a go. I get to start my injections now. So I thought I'd do a little pharmacy haul video because you have to buy your own injections. So the first one I'm going to start with is this ball stem. Let's open up the package. Ooh, what's inside? Ooh, it's the pen and the needles that you're going to inject yourself with. Ooh, this one comes with an ice pack and bubble wrapped. Must be very important. And what is it? It's the vial that's going to go inside your pen. Ooh, so you have to keep this refrigerated. The second injection. Ooh, hopefully I didn't show you that part. Okay, so what these are, they're two different vials. So one's a liquid part and one's a powder part, and you're going to be mixing it inside a syringe and then injecting yourself with that too. I heard these sting, so looking forward to that. And they give you this cute little biohazard container to put your used needles. Because when you're using needles, you gotta practice hygiene. Comes with a cap. They also gave me free parking validation. I don't have it here because I used it. So yeah, hopefully that's exciting. I'm probably going to go into the office today to have the nurse inject me. I'm excited. I kind of am just like happy about starting this whole process, and I do feel fortunate to be able to have this choice to freeze them. It'll just be something like less to worry about. I know ideally you still want to be pregnant. Normally, like that doesn't take away the
burden of having to find a life partner and start a family. But at least for this, it's like good. I'm trying to give you guys like a different perspective. So I just finished my first injection. I kept on thinking, had I been a drug user, I probably would have already known how to use needles by now. And but now I think perhaps if I play a role of a drug user, I will also know how to use needles a little bit more authentically. So yeah, I totally recommend having someone go with you step by step over how to do the injections, because as many times as they can explain it perfectly and you can think that you get it, there's always something different about actually doing it. She actually had me do my own injections today. So I think that's like a harsh reality that I'm gonna have to like deal with. I'm gonna have to deal with like injecting myself actually, I think. But the injection itself actually isn't very painful, but the medicine going into you is something that I kind of felt a little uncomfortable. Just kidding. I don't know if I already feel it or not. So yeah, I just kind of like did it. She said I did a good job, the nurse that helped me. She also said my face looked white and if I'm okay. So yeah, I survived. I already told people that I'm about to get injections, so I'm gonna be difficult in cussing people out. My biggest fear when this is over is now I won't have an excuse for cussing people out. Yeah, they say that the medicine is actually supposed to make you feel happy, and I do feel like a sense of euphoria coming on. I don't know if they just tell you that, and this is just like a placebo effect, but I am all for it. It's good. So yeah, just X amount of days left. That was totally the injections. So I'm actually really nervous doing this. This is my first time doing the injections by myself. But this is probably the most important part of the whole process. So here's a video. Okay, so I have the nurse recommended having like all your supplies ready and getting the shots ready first and then just injecting them at the same time. I'm gonna mix these two first. So here's the powder, here's the liquid, here's the syringe. Biggest takeaway, like anytime you see a needle, just check to see if it's twisted or untwisted, because if it's not connected, then there's going to be a gap and then the medicine will spill. So I think this is pretty good. Tear it straight apart like that, or else it might poke or bend or something like that. On the top of these little vials, there's like a little cap, so you want to take it off, and as long as you don't touch the very top of it, you don't need to like worry about like rubbing alcohol in it, or we all want to keep it sanitary. So actually, because this is a vacuum in this little vial, you need to make sure there's air into your syringe. So you want to put as much air into it as medicine that you're going to need, and you want to hold the top and then you inject it. When it's inside, you push the air in, and then it's going to magically insert. And then I am going to put it with the powder. I'm shaking already. Okay, so there's powder in here and it's already being mixed. You want to do it gently and not shake it out too much, because this medicine will foam and it'll make it harder for you to inject yourself with. Oh, God, I'm so fucking nervous. Okay. I set an alarm to give myself the shot. We're gonna twist it off, twist it off. And I have my little red container that I'm putting it in. And they give you a smaller needle, so that's the one that you'll be sticking yourself with. Oh, so nervous, so nervous. Now I see why they say like this process is kind of like lonely. But it's also kind of convenient just to do it on yourself, because then you don't need to like drive somewhere, and I guess I will be saving money. And really, this is just like something human that we all have to do, and there's people that have to do this every day. So yeah, we can do it. I can do it, you can do it, and I'm making sure it's twisted. So anytime you see a needle, my takeaway was like twist it, make sure that's on. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get this one ready. So this is the one that's like a pen, so that's easy. And then they give you a bunch of needles, that's what the red thing is. So I'm gonna twist it to my specific dose. And if you twist it too far, let's say like you twist it more than your dose, you don't go backwards. You have to do the full twist and then it'll go down. Okay, so I have it on my dose and now I'm gonna put the needle in. Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm like shaking right now. Good thing. And again, you want to just pull it out. So now I'm going to show you the injection site. So I'm wearing stretchy pants. Let's just tie it. I'm sitting down because it's easier to grab your skin that way too. Oh, God. I'm like so nervous. I don't know how to tie my shirt. Okay. The nurse said like do like a fist at your belly button. You want to grab that skin. They also say like 2 fingers below. I don't know if you can see. I think I injected someplace here last time. So let's see, 2 fingers. So I'm gonna just grab. Maybe I'll try grabbing here. Okay. So I had some pooch that I'm pinching. I'm going to get alcohol on. Oh. I don't know if this is very sanitary. I could just let go. Okay. So here's the alcohol pad. You want to rub the area of injection. Oh, God. Here we go. So there's a cap on the needle and you want to take it out straight. Then you just want to puncture, and then I'm going to have make sure it's the right dosage. Yeah. So I'm going to put it and just inject it. They said think of something smooth. Water. Okay, I'm doing this for other people who have to do this every day. You want to make sure the needle is like all the way in. You can do this. You want to let go of your grip too, because yesterday I was like pinching way too hard, and then the like medicine like or caused a bubble. Yay! First one done. I don't feel so bad. Okay. Yeah, yesterday the nurse said I did a good job, but also said I turned white. So do I look whiter to you guys? Okay, I'm gonna screw this off because we are done for the day. Now this one's the painful one. Yeah. Again, straight like this. Again, 2 fingers. Do some pinchies. Do some alcohol wiping. Now this one's supposed to sting a little bit, so yeah, let's go do it. Everyone needs to do this. People do it every day. You can do this. Do it for the people that do this every day. My hand's like shaking. I have to loosen my grip. I'm gonna pooch a little bit more. Let go. I don't have to push so hard.
second I was like, when does it end? Yay! I'm an adult. I can do my own injections. So again, ah, so that's how you do it. If I can do it, then you definitely can. And yeah, um, yeah. And also, you're supposed to feel like a little bit high. So I don't know if I'm happy because of the drugs or if I'm happy because it's over. Either way is okay. So maybe I'll do this every day and see how I progress. Bye. I also forgot to mention the nurse mentioned putting ice before the area of injection to somewhat numb it. So maybe I'll try that tomorrow. Hey, so it's kind of a rush right now, because I was told like my storage door looked a little dented, and I showed up this afternoon, early afternoon, and when I saw it, it was clearly someone tried to break in. And then when we looked inside, some things were stolen. So I was waiting for the police, and then the police weren't coming. And then I realized like I didn't have my shots with me, so I had to rush home. So that's why it's a little hectic right now. So not everything in my storage was stolen, but a couple of like key items. And part of me was like, man, I gave this person water. And then part of me was like, maybe it's because I gave the person water that the person didn't steal everything. I just want to get rid of all my shit. Just get rid of it. The worst part was the person kept on claiming like Christianity, and that's like the worst part. I believe in God too, so it's not like one of those things. It's just one of those like that's what gives a religion a bad name, right? And we don't know if it was that person. Could have been anyone. Ooh, it kind of hurts. I guess just do it in the same spot. That one hurt a little bit more when I was puncturing myself, probably because I'm pissed. And I try to have like a really holistic approach, right? Like, oh, hopefully the person will like need it more, or hopefully like they'll like do something with it. So let's just be thankful that no one got hurt. It's kind of funny because it's like, oh, I couldn't just stay there and wait for the police because I had to come home and do these injections. I moved out of my storage today. I had to wait for the police to file a burglary report, and then the movers came, and now they're moving stuff into my current place. So I'm going to sort through stuff. But just in case it ran late, I actually brought my shots with me this time. So in terms of all this burglary stuff, I'm trying to just keep calm. I'm just glad like the police came and were able to do a report today. And they're really nice. It's always nice to have nice people. It's my first time. As soon as you put the liquid in, the powder immediately dissolves. It's kind of fun. Tomorrow I get to see the doctor to see how my first 4 days have been. Then I perhaps pick up more medicine. I think I already injected there. That seems easier, just because I think I know that the movers are here. This isn't everything. It's a lot, but it's not everything. Yeah. You can leave it downstairs. Sorry, I'll be downstairs in a second. Yeah, you can put it on the side of the mirror that's down there. There's like a on the opposite, the one that's like closer to the glass, maybe. Sorry, I'll be downstairs. Um, Multitasking. All right. I saw the doctor today, and I'm changing my dosage as well as adding this one. So I've already prepped my shots. I think I did it on that side last time. Oh, I'm starting to see my marks, my shot marks. Okay, so with this pen, I've used up the last bit. So whatever number it is means I still need to inject myself with. So this was the new cartridge I needed. Okay, so this is the expensive medicine and this is the pen. So it stopped midway through my injection because this one is done. All done. The nurse was saying sometimes people don't want to inject themselves twice. They'll just get a new pen instead of having to like switch the vial in the middle of the injection. So that's an option for you if you're out there. It's kind of like a ballpoint pen, and the ink in the middle would be like the medicine, and you're just screwing it back in. Okay, great. And I don't need to touch this because it's still midway in the injection. So that was actually really easy. That's what I started realizing. Like throughout this whole process, whatever you're worried about, whatever situation pops up that's like not quote unquote normal, don't worry. Like your doctor and your nurses, like they already have some sort of solution, and the whole entire like industry of this egg freezing process has pretty much thought of it and has solutions for it. So you pretty much can't fuck up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Eee, I don't know why it hurts so much when I'm sticking myself with the needle now. Done. Oh, it's like bleeding. Poochie. My belly reminds me of a French bulldog right now. But maybe all dogs have bellies. And now the new one. Ooh, look, we're unboxing something. So this one is already pre-done for you. Everything about this is filtered. There's even like an air filter, so whatever you do, it's sterilized. It's the easy one, so don't worry about it. Did not go over how to take this off. Can you imagine I called them like, I could not get the watch. I'm like overthinking it. You just take it off. With syringe, help upward remove needle cover. So it can't be that. If you can't tell, there's a latex gray cover and there's a plastic cover, and you can take off the plastic cover, but then it leaves the gray cover, and then I think you have to pinch the plastic cover or get the gray one off. It shouldn't be that hard, but hey, I'm sure I'm not the only one. We don't know how this one feels, so we'll see. I'm having a hard time sticking at it for some reason. Okay, so it hurt today, so I'm putting an ice pack, and then so with this shot, it was hard for me to inject myself, They told me that the needle's actually kind of dull in this, so that's why it's probably hard for me to like poke myself. Oh, that was like painful. I actually thought it was like overhyped. When people say like when you do the shots, it's actually like it's really emotional, really sad, really lonely. I was like, it actually isn't. It's kind of like nerve wracking if you don't know how to like do the shots at first. But then I was driving this morning. I was like, giving your shots actually isn't that bad. It's kind of just like a okay, get it done. Right now, I feel a little like, oh, that was like a lot. Probably because I probably had to stick myself 4 times today. So, not to mention like the blood drawn earlier today, and yeah, it today just felt like a little bit of a process, but it's done.
Going to my car to get my shots because I am at some place and I don't have time to go home. So I'm out, but I brought my stuff, so I'm gonna give myself a shot. And this is the dull one. Fuck, I totally didn't think about it. I left my friend back at the restaurant with the food and the drinks because I need to go home and give myself a shot within the hour. So now I'm just rushing.
So I'm back home. As you can see, I was giving my shots at the restaurant or the hotel, and then I realized I brought all of my supplies, but I forgot the dosage increase in one of them. The powder and liquid ones increased. And I think I even remember telling you that you could tear these apart, and it didn't hit me that for one little bitty thing. So as you can see, you can take these to go, but just make sure you prepped it right. And I totally thought I bamboozled the system. I totally thought I did this right. So know your math. Fuck. Oh, fuck. You can't use this one. Ugh, today is like a fucking mess. If anything, this sort of taught me maybe it's just safer to do these things at home so you have everything. I mean, luckily I was close enough that like it didn't matter too much. Yeah, done. So what was my takeaway? I obviously wasn't as prepared as I thought. Such a small mishap made a big difference. If this is like your priority, you need to just make it your priority. And this is like the first time I'm socializing in a while, and still, like, look at this. Like, I made such a mess. So, not like a big mess, like, I forgive myself, everything's okay, it worked out. But I think it also shows, like, this is something that does need to take priority in your life, and you do need to give up certain things to go about doing it. And like, what if I wasn't close by and I just thought I could do this? So yeah, I'm thankful that I was close enough to like come back home and rush in time. But it was definitely some sort of oversight that like I was completely prepared, but it was an oversight that would have made a huge difference. So that was the takeaway. Done. I had an appointment this morning, and turns out I might be doing my egg retrieval this week. So it's a lot sooner than I thought. And part of me, I think, even though I'm happy to get this over with, I think part of me was so over prepared for it lasting longer that it was a bit of a surprise. Like, I couldn't take in that information. I was like, what, already? When you think about it that way, like, people dedicate their lives to helping other people. That's good stuff. So thank you, doctor. Thank you, nurses. Thank you, everyone in the office that drew my blood. I just gave myself the last shot before I have to start my trigger shots, and I'm actually kind of nervous. I'm nervous because it's ending the process. Someone is going to deliver the trigger shots, and I'm doing my surgery on Wednesday. They recommend having someone pick you up. I'm probably going to hire a nurse that they recommend that specializes on post operative.
pick up. It'll be good. And I'm on my way to an audition. I had to wear like swimwear like stuff. Oh my gosh. Something that I didn't expect were my feet were pretty swollen, so some of my shoes felt a little tight. Ooh, someone's calling. Hello? Yeah, I'm doing like an egg retrieval on Wednesday morning, and I wanted someone to, I guess, help bring me home because I have no friends, I guess. Just kidding. Or yeah, it's like on a Wednesday morning. It's hard to sort of ask that, so it's like okay. Oh, this is such a great thing. Yeah, then I don't need to bother anyone. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, bye. So that's nice. I was kind of like, I can't be the only single person freezing her eggs that doesn't necessarily have someone to pick them up after egg retrieval. And this might be a little bit sad. I probably shouldn't admit that online. But hey, I'm making this video in case someone else is going through this, and you may very much well be in my position. So I'm not alone. And now you're not alone. We're all not alone. And also, like, if there's a business that specifically specializes in picking up people from surgery, then obviously we're all not alone, even if technically I am alone. Unboxing. So the medication got delivered. Yeah, so one is a special sort of Tylenol. Another is Novarel. So there's this water and the powder. Ooh. Here's a fancy FedEx box. And yeah, here's the ice pack. Ooh, this must be serious business. Refrigerated items, open immediately. So then you know exactly that you need to put it in the fridge. Because there's like so many medicines. It's actually hard to keep track what you need to refrigerate or not refrigerate. So this is the ice pack. And this is, ooh, syringes. Oh, two. It's exciting. Let me put this in the refrigerator. My nurse called and let me know what time they're doing the surgery. And now I feel anxious, excited. Like I'm excited that it's like finally coming together. Like I've been working hard to like prep for this day and now it's finally happening. I know it's not work. I know this isn't like an acting role that I finally booked or something, but it feels good. It feels good. I let my agents know that I'm doing an egg retrieval Wednesday and the recovery time is kind of like iffy, but I'm in LA. Because when you book out, then they won't send you auditions. But technically, I am in LA, and who knows how bad my recovery will be. And sometimes, even if it's bad, I will still make my way over to an audition. So it's almost time for me to do my shot. Last night, I had a lot of dreams of me fucking up the shots during this whole egg retrieval. And it was kind of like antsy. This is the one I already pre-made to 400 or 40. Fuck. It's my pregnancy body. My belly definitely feels bigger. My boobs are bigger, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, you think because I'm getting
fatter and gaining weight that I wouldn't want to show it, but it feels different. Like it makes you realize your body's meant for more than just aesthetic reasons. So it's capable of growing life, and it's kind of nice to enjoy this moment while my body's kind of like this. Granted, it's probably not all pregnancy weight. It's definitely because I've been eating a lot. But other than that, it's like, oh, look at that. It's like a little belly. Now I see why people try to take sexy pregnancy photos. It's not like the typical sexy. It is the day before I do surgery tomorrow. And for some reason, I had a lot of emotions going on. And then going this morning, I did my blood draw. A nurse called to confirm the appointment tomorrow. So I feel confident in them. And then afterwards, like, there's something about, like, I think I've been doing this on my own, which is, like, fine. But I guess it just sort of, like, caught up with me after the appointment. Like, I didn't quite want to go back home yet. So I went to Santa Monica. I had, like, breakfast at this hotel restaurant. I like to relax at a restaurant at a hotel, like if I need de-stress. And I do that when I write too. There's something about the atmosphere. Maybe it's like the vibes of people being on vacation or trying to get away that affects me. But it was then I decided, oh yeah, I should take pregnancy photos.
Woman, 12:57 p.m. takes fake pregnancy photos at beach. They're not dangerous, highly suspicious.
And I guess like the idea of just doing it alone just really hit me. And I know I'm not pregnant, I'm not raising a kid, but like this process is like, I guess it is a lot. And I think like we all have those things in life where you can't expect help from anyone. You're just going to do it yourself. And like, yeah, I could have gotten help during this whole time. Like people offered. But ultimately, like this was done by myself. And I started to get pissed because like sometimes people were like, oh, you'll be fine. Like it's a recovery. It's just going to be short, blah, blah. And the thing is, it's like, they don't know. And then like on top of it, it's like not even my own doctors or nurses are telling me to feel a certain way. So like back off. So maybe that's the hormones speaking. I try to find the expectant mother's parking because I wanted the full pregnancy experience because I don't know when this is going to happen.
So I specifically came to a parking lot so I could park in one of those expectant mother spots. And I did get a very good parking spot, but it's just a normal spot. So we need to try this again. I'm trying to find a pregnancy parking spot. There was a really early one for food delivery and for electric cars, but nothing for pregnant women. My full pregnancy experience has been debauched. Or maybe this is just real. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna check out one more parking lot to see if I can find a pregnancy spot. But just like a pregnant woman, I'm tired. And I'm gonna try to rest up before the surgery tomorrow. Maybe grab some grocery items.
Like a pregnant woman, I got tired and I stopped. I went home. I got some groceries to stock up in case my recovery time is a little bit more
dramatic than I thought. I know it's like a procedure they do all the time, and it's not that dramatic, but I'm scared. And this whole process just makes me think about the future. And yeah, I'm doing something to ensure that I can have children in the future, but I don't know what's going to happen still. Like when I first put on this dress this morning, my body was very different. Like I could tell the stomach and my boobs, and like something about it just felt very like beautiful. Like I know I'm like fatter and rounder, but I felt beautiful. It's nice knowing that a woman's body can create life, and those changes are a sign of that, or proof of it. So there's something about me, like, I was very happy to see my little belly. I was really happy to see my little pooch. It's like the little pooch you see on little puppies. Boop, 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 boop. um, oh God, I'm going to have to pay for these egg freezing bills. And then you have to pay for storage, and then you're going to have to pay for them to put it in you. It's like, what's going to happen down the line? I think I do have a hard time accepting help. I mean, I even hired someone to drop me off at home, which I think objectively is a good idea. I've always worked, and I've always been trying to do my own thing, feeling like I need to fight for my career. Like I've already been fighting for it. Yeah, I'm scared, but I'm looking forward to it. Wow, I'm like an adult. I'm a semi-parent. Like I'm just growing in life.
Just got dropped off by the Uber and I had a hard time picking out my outfit this morning. I won't get lost. As I lay here in bed, my biggest regrets are not getting cuter socks or a pedicure. I just finished. It feels good. I recommend it. 5 stars. My new ride. Yeah, I'm glad that's over. This is not an Instagram worthy video. It is the next morning, and I feel like last night was a bad trip. I was emotional, I was crying, and I woke up this morning feeling a lot more clear headed, like not wanting to talk to anyone. And then I sort of just got reassured that, like, whatever I was worried about the night before, it was okay. So, yeah, I definitely recommend having someone stay with you the night of your surgery. When I got home, I was completely fine. So actually, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's good that my friends didn't come because I wasn't well enough to like leave the bed. And then someone did offer to like stay that first night, but I was thinking, oh, I feel fine right now, so it didn't matter. But yeah, like yesterday was just crazy. Today is not so bad. I feel like a little sore still. Definitely tired. Like I couldn't just like go up and about, but much better than yesterday. It is Friday. I had the surgery done on Wednesday. I'm still recovering. There's not much pain, it's just sort of discomfort. If I wanted kids at the time and I wanted to give myself the best chance possible, I think I kind of have to do this. I'm really scared. I don't know when my insides are going to heal. I'm in bed early because I'm still feeling tired. I'm feeling full, not because of the food, but just because of the egg freezing process. It's funny because like last year around Christmas time, I was in Aspen, like having fun, and a year later, I am in LA, and I stayed here to do the egg freezing, and now I'm just recovering. So what a difference a year. At least I don't have a kid. It's a beautiful day. It's been 7 days. And this is like too much. I already want to go inside.
Spoiler alert, I survived. Wednesday was the egg retrieval. Today is Monday. It's the first time I'm kind of out and about. Mainly because I had an appointment. But I've mainly been staying in bed the whole time. I was prepared for the recovery going either way. Just because I think they say that it like just depends on your body. They only give you enough meds for like a week, so I don't think they're expecting you to take that long. But I had a friend that said she had a really rough recovery, so I was prepared either way. So Wednesday was the egg retrieval. I had a nurse pick me up, and the minimum you have to book them for a certain amount of hours. But as soon as I got home, I just told her like make sure I'm like locked, and then she was fine to go home because I actually felt okay. I wasn't like but I was just I could survive. But I even like went to the fridge and like ate a couple like Chinese food leftovers, like some dumplings and stuff, and then went back to bed. And I was just gonna stay there because I don't think I was ready to leave that bed. I started to feel some pain. The Wednesday night, man, I was in that like hormone driven post surgery mode. Like I was like, I eventually fell asleep. Man, that like night was really lonely. So yeah, that was fun. That's something like I wouldn't have expected. Thankfully, like I thank you to like all the friends and the people that like professionals that were like talking with me and like making sure I was okay. But the next morning, I woke up feeling like, wow, I had such a bad trip. Like I can give reason to my thoughts the previous day, but I wouldn't have necessarily vocalized them. Okay, yeah, Wednesday night was like the most uncomfortable. Like they give you pain meds, and it's like the sensation was like all of my insides were like tied together, but they were disconnected from the rest of my body. So if I moved, I could feel it. If I could move, I could feel it. Thursday, I pretty much stayed in bed. Like you can still get up, which I did, but for the most part, I stayed in bed. Friday, the same thing. I stayed in bed. A little bit better. And then Saturday, a friend was going to come over. And then so that morning, I woke up feeling like 50-50. Like I could feel well enough to like go down and get someone, but I also didn't. And then it was like maybe early evening where like another friend actually reached out. She's like, yeah, hey, like I feel like I want to come visit. And it was around that time where I was like, yeah, like come, because I didn't think about like this before, but like with the right people, your healing process speeds up because of their good energy. So that was I was really like I told her I was like she was like a godsend that night. And then Sunday was the first time I got Postmates. So like I was still building up to like go venture out into the world. So yeah, they said pineapple would help the healing process. They give me pain meds, like, but so here's pineapple and Hawaiian pizza. So yeah, I postmated this like cauliflower pizza
place. I don't know, for some reason I'm like craving pizza. Fake pregnancy cravings after the fact. So yeah, like that was kind of like a monumental move, I guess, for me to like get Postmates and go get it myself out in the real world and then bring it back. And then today is Monday. So yeah, it's my first time out in the world. I had an appointment that I had to go to, and then I was starting to run low on supplies, so I was like, let me at least pick up some food so I can survive today. And it was just nice being, I think, around other people with good energy, so I do feel better now. I just need to freeze my eggs, but there's so much more than that. And I think like the all important question is like, do you regret it? Had you asked me Wednesday night when I was tripping, yeah. Now that I'm a little less emotional, I think I stand by the choice I made before I knew what I was getting myself into. Because I don't think anyone can tell you what your experience is going to be, because I'm sure it's like different for everyone. I think the determining factor of my opinion as to egg freezing comes from the fact that like I've never actually tried to get pregnant, and I've never like accidentally gotten pregnant, and I've never gone through an abortion or had like a real scare or something like that, you know what I mean? So I really don't know what the reality of fertility is at all, and I don't think we'll ever know how valuable it is until it actually becomes a need. Which I think is the boat that everyone's in. That's the boat that everyone's in. Like, no one has the answer as to whether or not you need to freeze your eggs, I guess, unless you're one of those circumstances where I think, like, if you have cancer or you know infertility is going to happen due to some sort of like sickness or circumstance. Other than that, for most people who are probably like watching this video or in my position, you don't really know if it's necessary to freeze your eggs or not. They tell you like, yeah, you should freeze them by a certain point and then da 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 da. But even then, you're not. They tell you ideally you still get pregnant naturally, and these frozen eggs are just a backup. It works, but it also may not work. I remember telling them, yeah, you should. If it's an option and that's something you're thinking about, you should do it, because it's better to like just do it rather than like regret it later. Because if you regret it later, then you like really don't have any options. But if you at least freeze your eggs and you decide you don't want to use them, it's like, okay, well, like, it's not as big of a risk as regretting not freezing them. It's just more like we're in this world right now where people freeze their eggs and that's a reality. And do you do it or not? I've been told people do like multiple cycles of this egg freezing. I don't know. I don't know anything about the person that like I would trust with the most advice. She was like, so what's your timeline? Are you planning to like do this in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? I was like, what? I don't just freeze my eggs and that's it. So yeah, I think, and I've heard this feeling before too, but it's just like, if freezing your eggs doesn't prevent you from like finding the person you want to be with, or how you want to start a family, or if you can start a family, I think, but it is empowering actually. Like somewhere like in my like my like drug induced stupor, like after the operation, I was like, maybe I can raise a kid by myself. It was never something I seriously considered before, but like I was going through the ideas of like, what if I were just to find like a sperm donor and raise this kid myself. So in that sense, I think it is just empowering just to do it. Did I know what I was getting myself into? No, not really. Like, I think about my earlier videos and what a lighthearted tone I took on them, that I'm almost like, wait, do I still release them now that I've gone through the whole process? And I think yes, because like when I brought up egg freezing before, like a lot of my friends have been kind of like, yeah, wait, what is this? Da, da. Like they have the, like, how do you do it? Like, how do you feel? Like they have the same worries and questions that I did. And it's not coming from the idea that we're trying to start a family or anything. It's like we're just single women in today's society, and we're trying to like merge this like old school idea that we need to have kids with this like new idea that we have careers and we can be independent. And like this at least puts them together.
Is the lighting moody or annoying? It's like right in my eye. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so it's Tuesday. It's been 7 days since the egg retrieval. And I went out for a walk to pick up some food, and I was like, yeah, this is too much. So for the most part, like I'm not in pain, still a little uncomfortable, but I'm noticeably slow when I walk about. I'm just sort of still keeping it easy. And my mood, I think my mood's still a little chilly. And it's chilly outside, so really I'm just being festive. But my mood is definitely just very like and I'm thinking it's because of the hormones, or maybe it's just me. But I would recommend like just I've been trying to like just do things that would keep me entertained. So I've been watching like a lot of Netflix. The screeners have been coming out, so I've been catching up on those award winners, and yeah, doing some writing on my Instagram. I'm going through my Paris photos I have never posted, just because I like a little bit of an outlet. Doing like a lot of masks and beauty routines. And I'm going to like clean up some of my storage stuff right now, because I at least do feel I do at least feel like mentally cognizant enough to like get shit done. I may not be able to like physically move everything as fast or as many as like heavy as I'd like, but I think for right now, I'm still tired, but I at least can like get things together and move. So that's nice. So yeah, officially a week, and it's like a huge difference from Wednesday after the surgery till today. So I would say like recovery was pretty
Merry Christmas. So it's officially been a week since I did egg freezing, so that means cheers to me. Yeah, it's good. So, how does it feel? I'm actually really relieved and happy. I'm happy because, you know, in the end, like, I don't know what's going to happen in my life. I don't know when I want to have a kid. I don't know if I'm going to meet someone or when I'll meet someone. Or maybe I'll just do it myself. But at least makes me feel like I did everything that I can within my power right now to ensure that I gave myself the best chance in the future. So yeah, I 100% think it was the right decision for me to freeze my eggs. And I feel like more empowered for it.
I feel like I'm moving forward in life. I'm leaving like an old stage behind. I even want to redo my wardrobe. This might be because my storage got broken into, so I have to clean out my shit anyways. But yeah, I just want to like, I feel like I graduated life stage by doing this. And it feels good. Or also would have, had I not done it, it still would have been something on the back of my mind, whether or not like, oh, should I freeze my eggs? Should I not? And at least with this, I'm like, yeah, I froze them. My responsibilities right now are good. Like, I can move on in life for a little bit. So yeah, I actually do feel really proud of myself for going through with this. And especially since the recovery was about a week, it's great. I'm hopeful and I'm happy. Yeah, I think that's the most important part. So yeah, looking forward to what happens in the future. Ah, oh, thanks for following along. Egg freezing isn't the most like dramatic thing you'll ever do in your life. It's not going to be the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to you. It's not going to be the most traumatic. It's not the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to me. So yeah, I get why people want to sort of downplay it, or and it's not something that like you walk around and people are going to be like, hey, she looks like she's freezing her eggs. Like when you're pregnant, you have a belly and you don't, I gain like 10 pounds, but it's not something that people are obviously going to know what's up. So I think it's important for you to like let people around you know what's happening and how you're feeling. Because unless they've gone through egg freezing themselves or even been pregnant, they're not really going to understand that you're in this like weird phase where things are happening to your body and it doesn't look like it to them, and you might be really good at covering up, but things are happening. Like I was just feeling a lot of feelings even if I didn't know. Like it wasn't like I was aware like, ooh, I'm feeling very emotional. It was just like things were like hitting me a little bit harder. I was picking up on vibes a lot. I was a lot more sensitive to other people's vibes too. So I really did just need supportive friends. And like I could be a listening ear to some people, but you know, it's a little bit different. Like you can't be there for people as much as you would if you weren't going through something like a fake pregnancy because you just can't. You can't. Your emotions are all over the place. You're having to give yourself injections. Like there's a timing thing. If you fuck up, you fuck up. And a lot of people just don't understand that. And some people will take it personally. I think that's just like life in general. Like however I'm describing this whole process is just life. You have to focus on like what you're doing and like how you want to do it, because if you fuck up, you fuck up. It's a really expensive process. It's time consuming. I still feel fat from it, like, and I'm going to feel fat from it for a while. Like it's just too much preparation, too much effort, too much on the line for you to give up your energy the way you would if you weren't going through it. So really take this time to like just focus on yourself and like be adamant about what you need, and don't just give your energy away. But yeah, if you decide to do it, I'm proud of you. And you can get through it. If I could redo one thing during the process, it would be probably to have someone with me the night of surgery. If you're feeling weird or shit's like being like fucking crazy and the world doesn't make sense, at least know like that first night is just crazy in general. Like what you're going through is probably normal or maybe abnormal. I for me, my first night post op was like so crazy. Like, yeah. and completely legal too. It was a crazy drug trip in a completely legal way. But in the end, like, I had people on the phone and text messaging, and I survived, and you'll survive too. Something to also be aware of is sex. Because I'm single, and I wasn't going out, it wasn't really something I had to consider. But because you're taking hormones and because they are doing surgery down there, I think you have to be careful as to like when you have sex, because you're either like very fertile, or shit is already getting like poked around, so you don't want to poke around it more. I may need to edit this. So in case you feel bad for being single during egg freezing, don't feel bad. Can't have sex anyway, so. Thank you to all the doctors and the nurses that helped me during this process, especially to my main doctor and my main nurse. And the main receptionist. And the people that draw your blood, and just the friends that were supportive, and like the vitamin people. It involves a lot of people that you just